Too native or not too native? That is the question. We're talking native applications. I'm Justin with 702pros.com, and in this video, we're going to be talking about native mobile applications for smartphones. Should you get one, or should tis not? And we're going to get started right here after the intro. Check it out. Hey guys, so I'm back. So we're talking that age-old question: native application or website, mobile website, which one do you need? Well, maybe not age-old, but like since 2007. So that has been a question that a lot of companies have been asking. Should I develop a native application that's downloaded onto a smartphone, or should I just get a mobile website that people can access on their devices as well? So that's what we're going to be covering, and I'm going to go over what a native app is, why you might need it and why you might not, the pros and cons. We're going to do a little checklist. We're going to download the list, see if it's the right choice for you. So before we jump right into the content, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and what makes me an expert at native application design and marketing and the whole digital realm in general. So my name is Justin Young. I'm the owner of 702 Pros LLC, a local operated Las Vegas business that does digital marketing. We do social media, influencing. We also help with search engine optimization, getting found on the Googles. And we help small businesses from startup to successful operating companies. So we also do websites. That's probably the hub. That's our main focus when we help companies, and then we develop brands, and then we also do native applications, just like we're talking about right here. So I'm going to go over the pros, the cons, and then some considerations that you should look at before you decide to either do A, you're going to do a native application, or B, a website. If you do a native application, you're going to build a website as well. So, it's kind of up to you. But either way, you need to build a website. That's going to be one thing that you have to do, even if you have the native application. So it's either A, native application, or B, mobile. A, native application with a website, or B, just the website that's mobile. All right, so let's jump right into the content. Okay, step right into the content, and I'm going to go into considerations, the pros, and then the cons of native applications. And before I do that, let's talk about what a native application is versus just a mobile website, or a website that can be mobile. So a native application is something that you download onto your smartphone, either it be Android, Apple, or a Windows smartphone, or tablet. So it could be a tablet as well. So consideration number one is going to be the complexity. How complex is this application? Do you need to have a native application, or can you just do a mobile website? If it's kind of just a static information website, you probably don't need a native app for that. You can probably just get away with doing the mobile responsive website. And that's going to be a part of the con that we're going over, which is price. And I'll go a little more into that, more detail when we get to the cons list. So the next consideration is going to be ROI. And I've talked about that on this channel before. ROI is an acronym for return on investment. So how much are you going to invest, and are you going to get a return? And then also with return on investment is time to get your money back. So if you invest, let's say $10,000, how long is it going to take you to get that $10,000 back, or will you ever? So that's something you really have to consider. How are you going to make money off of this right away? Is it going to take a long time, or are you never going to make money? So that's something to really consider when you're taking on these native applications, or considering it.
Bye now.
So consideration number 3 is, will people download this? Like if you have a pizza shop, let's say you have Vito's Pizza, are people going to download your specific application to download or to order your pizza? when they have Domino's and Pizza Hut and all the other ones, or are they just going to go to Chow Now or Bite Squad or Uber Eats? When they can do it all in one place and kind of tackles a bunch of different restaurants, why would they download your specific application? So that's something to really consider. Are they going to do it? Is it scalable? And then another consideration, this is a big one. Will this application be for mobile use, or does it need to be integrated with a desktop application and they have to communicate? So that's something that's going to be a part of the price, because you're going to have to really think about if you need both. Like if you look at Uber, they just have a mobile app. Instagram, they just have kind of a mobile app. You can do stuff on a desktop, but you're really limited on what you can do. It's made specifically for mobile. And that's the consideration. With Instagram, they're taking photos, they're out and about. It was made for phones. And a lot of people have copied that model. And then with, let's say, like Uber, you're out and about. You're not at a desktop specifically. So that's why they made it for a phone, because the people are out and about and they have their phone. That it made sense to have a native app for that. So now those are the considerations that I would take into account. There are a number of other ones that we can go over, but that list could be all day. If you have some suggestions, please leave a comment below, just so we can kind of build I want people to be able to communicate and come up with their ideas. These are some considerations that I have for you. So now that we went over the considerations, things that you should think about when you're considering doing an application, let's look at the pros, and then we'll look at the cons. So the pros, one main pro that I've noticed in mobile native application for mobile devices is accessibility. So that means that you download this application directly onto your device, and it's always there. And that's going to leverage us into another pro, which is notifications or marketing. You're able to send people notifications on the application. So if there's an update, if someone contacts them, sometimes you can't get that same kind of ability from desktop apps or ones that you have to go through a browser. And then another big part of that accessibility, when you're on your phone, if you want to go to a response or a website, you have to go to a browser like Chrome or Safari. You have to look up the website and go to it, unless they download a bookmark to their device, but not a lot of people know how to do that. So that's one big thing. It's already on the device. They can search, and it's made specifically for that. So that's a really big pro for native apps. And then our second pro is going to be brand recognition. So that's part of the accessibility. It's on your device, but you're scrolling through your phone. Oh, I saw Uber. And that's another part of marketing. You just keep seeing it. So it's brand recognition every time you go on your phone, especially if you get on the front screen of the phone. That would be great. So they just see it every time they open their phone. So brand recognition is a big part. And then number 3 is going to be mobile apps or native apps are very, very specific. They're built directly for that device. So if I have a Galaxy, even when you're building apps, and we build apps, so I know you can build it specifically for a Galaxy 9. So it looks like this on a Galaxy 9. You can do that with responsive websites, but it's a little more difficult, and they're not specific for that specific device. It's based on screen size more often. Okay, so, and then also with, like, to help you with this pro, with a website, you're limited by the browser. So there's multiple browsers that they have to be compatible with. So that's another thing that might push you towards a native application. And then our fourth tip is going to be user experience. And that's kind of what we're talking about. It's built specifically for that for a mobile use, and you can really tailor that experience towards a person. And you can give the notifications that give them their own, like accessibility to parts of the app that they like to use. So you can get really, really smart with your native applications. You can do that on desktop, but it's not as specific as for a phone. And that was one of the considerations. Look at, are people going to be using this on our phone a lot? And chances are they are, because everyone's on their phone, even more than desktops. They've actually, searches have went past desktop on phone because we're just always on them. So, and then so that's basically all for the pros. There's a bunch more. We can go down and down that list. If you have another suggestion, please leave a comment below, and we can add to the list. All right, so let's go to cons. Let's jump right into that. So one of the cons, and this is also a pro, it was accessibility in the pros, but here it's download. People have to download this application to their device, and they might not have a lot of space, or they might be like, oh, why am I going to download this? Or some people are sketched out by downloads. It all depends. So that's one con. They have to download it. And if it's Vito's Pizza Shop, you're probably not going to get that download, and you're probably not going to get a return on the investment. So some people come into my office, for instance, and they'll want a native application, and I don't want to talk them out of it because of another con that we're going to go over is the cost. It costs a lot more for a native application than a website, but I kind of talk them out of it because they're not going to get the return on the investment. And that's really important to me because I work with a lot of startups, and I just want to be upfront with them and not just blow smoke like, yeah, you need this and you need that, and well, sometimes you don't need it. So, okay, so cost. That's going to be number 2 with the cons. Let's put it in a little bit of perspective. So a website, like a static website, some people can go on Wix and they can build one for free, or you can hire a company and they're going to, a professional company, mid-size, is going to be probably $2,000 at a minimum, and it's going to go up from there based on complexity. That's for a website that is mobile responsive. For the same application, for $1,000 mobile or a mobile responsive website, the same one on native is going to be 10 times as much, might be $10,000, because you're building 2 applications, and they both have their own code. With a website, it has basically one code. It's HTML and then CSS and Java, but there's a lot more people that know that code. It's universal. So that's one pro for the mobile, is it's a lot cheaper to do. So that's a really big consideration. You just have to kind of price out native apps, but they're going to be a lot more expensive. And there's no builders like Wix. There's not a lot of them, and they're not going to be very good. And then another con is going to be red tape. So when you build your website, you have to submit it. Like you could do all this work. You build the code, you do all this, and then you submit it to Android and Apple stores, or the Google store and the Apple store, and they could deny it. So you could do a lot of work, and then it could be denied, and you have to resubmit and resubmit and resubmit and keep doing it. That's kind of a process. So that's really something to look at, because that could be more cost. And then another portion of the cost, and with websites you're going to have costs as well, but traditionally they are going to be less. So another part of the cost that you have to consider, or another con that you need to consider, is the initial cost of building it, and then recurring cost. So you have database pricing. Every person that logs in, Google charges you for, if you're using a specific, say someone's doing a search on Google and you're using, so there's something called APIs. I don't want to go way into it, but you can link to Google Maps, use it on your application. You can also do that on your website, on a website too. They do the same thing, but you have to pay each time someone does a search. So are you paying to play? So those are things you have to consider. Database is going to be kind of expensive. Whatever kind of code you're doing, it's not kind of a set and forget it. You always have to pay for something. But the more you're paying, hopefully the more in return you're getting, because people are using your service. And the more people that are going onto your app, which is another pro, is going to be the more people going onto your application. It actually tracks that in the store, going back to pros here, but it tracks that in Apple Store or Google Store, and it'll tell you, oh, there's this many downloads. Well, that's, if you're trying to sell the company or if you're trying to evaluate, that's a really good analytic. Like, you can just look at that and say, oh, I got 10,000 downloads or 1 million downloads. And that kind of shows how popular you are. Even if you're not making any money, you have that many people downloading. Like Instagram, for instance, before they started doing any advertisement, I think it was 2011, they were bought by Facebook. I don't think they're really doing any advertisement, but they had a few, I don't know, a few million downloads, maybe 100 million downloads, but they sold it for, I think, 100 million back then. In today's money, that would be maybe 10 billion. I think Snapchat 4 years ago would, Facebook was trying to buy them for 4 billion and they said no, but because they had such a user base. But that, with a website, it's a little more difficult. You can prove how many people are visiting, but it doesn't have that set number like you can look on the Google Store and the Apple Store and say, hey, there's 1 million or 10 million downloads of this application, because they're not downloading anything onto their device. So visit, if I get, let's put this in a little perspective. If I go to my website, 702pros.com, I go to the website, that's a visitor, and that's worth something. Like, I have 10,000 visitors going to my site every month. That's worth something, or whatever it may be. But if I have 10,000 downloads onto people's devices, that's worth more. And then you can get even more analytics on it. So there's this many people downloads, there's this many downloads, and then they go onto my device for this long every day. You could do that with websites too, but they're not downloading anything. So you're losing that really important chunk. With Facebook, that's why they did a native app. They already had they were built on desktop or through browsers, but they downloaded a native app because they noticed that people were on website or were on their phones, and downloading that piece made them more valuable. So just a little snippet about native applications, and really what I like to do, this is how I perceive business, is I like to get into kind of the psychology behind it, how people think and why they're doing it, the analytics, the return on an investment, and that's really important to me. And I think in the next video, I kind of just come up with these at night or something, and I say, oh, I want to do this video. But the next one's probably going to be on return on investment. I think that's really important for any person doing a startup, especially if you're trying to get into the app world, because there's a lot of money still to be made in the app world. And you can have a great idea. You just need A, money, B, creative thoughts, and C, you need drive and vision. So it takes, and there's more. There's more. You have to think of the logistics. You have to think of that. There's just a ton. But I hope this helps you on your native application journey. And if you have any questions about this, please leave a comment below. If you like videos like this, please consider subscribing, clicking one of the buttons. If you want to watch another video, I have some notification. One of the sides has that little icon thing in it, and you can see other videos, and then there's subscribe buttons and other stuff. But if you're going to subscribe, make sure to hit the bell so you get all of my updated videos on startup business stuff, mobile apps, and then return on investment. So thank you for watching. Again, my name is Justin with 702pros.com, and I'll see you later. Oh, ow. I need to stretch. Oh, I need to stretch. I need to stretch.